It all started when we moved out of the city. We moved way up here, way up to this remote area by the Modoc National Forest. Here, I discovered this really neat beaver colony. I was so excited by this close encounter with nature that I started to film with a video camera. That's when I made a remarkable observation. These beavers were out and about every day of the week except Saturdays. I was never able to get any pictures on Saturdays. So I decided to do a little study. The incredible results I want to share with you in this documentary I call The Seventh Day Beavers. Saturday. What's so special about it? Why would Saturday be different than any other weekday? Here I am in the forest watching beavers and wondering why they work 6 days a week and then rest on this one particular day. Welcome to the Seventh Day Beavers, the story of animals that rest. So here's the question. What's so special about Saturdays that would cause something in nature to recognize it?
Saturday is the seventh day of the week. You can discover that by looking at any good dictionary or encyclopedia. It is also the original day that God rested on when He created this world. It says in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis chapter 2, verse 3, that God blessed the seventh day. And He sanctified it because in it He had rested from all His work, which God created and made. If anything in nature still recognizes the significance of the Sabbath, it would be a remnant or a carryover from the early days at the beginning of time.
In the Bible, after God finished creating the world in 6 literal days, He created one more thing. He created a day. Genesis 2 tells us, on the seventh day, God rested from His work which He had made, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. So right from the beginning of time, we see that the seventh day is special to the Creator of this earth. Then in Exodus, He commanded His people to remember it by not working. You also see in Isaiah 56 that God invited foreigners to join with His people, Israel, and to keep the Sabbath also.
In July of 1999, we made a big decision in our family. We decided to move out of the city and into the country. My wife and I had both graduated from college. We were both in debt. We had our first 2 children, and we were living smack dab in the middle of a city in a tract housing development. One day, after work, I decided to stop off at the local Christian bookstore and see if I can get a book to help me be a better parent. While browsing through the family section, my eye caught sight of a book called Country Living. This book nearly jumped off the shelf by itself into my arms. While perusing through the book, I felt strongly impressed that God wanted us to move out into the country. But we had this problem of money, and us being starving students just out of college, we would of course need jobs, and so that doesn't come easy. But about this time, this simple little 3-bedroom house was offered to us for free. You know, it's really not much, but it was free, and that's about all we could afford. That would give us a really good chance to pay off our debts, get on our feet a little bit. having a house for free is nice, but of course you're going to have jobs. Way out here in the middle of nowhere, where would we find jobs? We work in hospitals. So I decided to call the local hospital. I called him up and I said to him, I wanted to work 4 days a week as a physical therapist. And the reason 4 instead of 5 is because I want to take 1 day off so my wife can work, who is a dental hygienist, and she wants to work 1 day a week. So I told this to the man on the phone. Then there was silence on the phone for a little while. Finally, he came back on and he said, did you say physical therapy for 4 days and dental hygiene for 1 day? I said, yeah. He said, that's funny. We're looking for a dental hygienist to work 1 day a week and a physical therapist to work 4 days a week. So God opened the doors up. We moved into the house and we moved out to the country and started our life here out in the country. Yeah, you know, that was pretty amazing. And that nearest hospital was about 40 miles away. And the fact that they were looking for the exact same schedule told us this must be a sign from God. A free house, tailor-made jobs. We did it. We made the big move. So here we are in the country, living amongst the beavers. And to tell the truth, I never would have even noticed them resting if it wasn't for Bill.
Back when Laren and his family still lived in Redlands, California, I lived in their garage. They ended up converting their garage into an apartment, and then I rented it from them. The property was surrounded by orange groves, which means lots of bees. Now I noticed something very interesting about these particular bees. They flew in the same pattern each day. They'd go zooming by my garage every day. But on Saturdays, it was quiet. No bees. They didn't fly by on Saturday like they did on the other days, and I had to tell Laren about that.
Yeah, what Bill told me that day was pretty interesting, but it really didn't mean much to me at the time. But I did remember it. Let me take you up to the area where my beavers actually live. When we finally moved up here, the thing that really contrasted our new home with our old home was the mountains. We fell in love with the mountains up here. And since we didn't work on Saturdays, I had time to come up here and explore the mountains. That is, on Saturdays. One Saturday afternoon, I ran across a huge beaver dam. Now this discovery fascinated me, so I came back again and again, hoping to see the beavers. On Saturdays, Saturday after Saturday, I came back, but I never saw them. And I wondered why. Maybe beavers are just real sneaky, reclusive animals. But then I got a surprise. I got a chance to go up to the beaver dam on a different day. And wow, there they were. So here it is, the home of the Seventh-day Beavers. This creek in the National Forest here is only about 15 miles away from our home. And over the years, these beavers have built several dams, some down the creek and others up the creek. And after coming up to this particular dam and visiting the beavers several times, I finally began to wonder, why wasn't I seeing them on Saturdays? That's when I remembered the bees. It finally hit me, what Bill said about the bees in Redlands, how they didn't fly in their usual patterns on Saturdays. And I thought, bees and beavers are kind of similar. Bees live in colonies. They work together in a highly organized manner, performing specific tasks, that is, to make honey. I thought to myself, now don't beavers do the same thing? Well, they don't make honey, but they live in colonies, and they work together in a highly organized manner, performing a specific task, that is, building dams. I wonder if somehow these beavers are resting on Saturdays like Bill's bees. And so that's when I decided to do a little experimenting. So I decided to observe the activity of the beavers on a routine weekly basis over a period of time. Each weekday, I'll come up at the same time and record what I observe. And of course, I'll be using my trusty video camera to help record the data. Now, according to what I've heard, beavers are most active early in the morning, late in the evening, and late at night. Anyway, that worked well with my schedule since I had to work most weekdays. So my plan was to observe them each morning, early before work, and late each evening after work. Then on Saturdays and Sundays, I'd be able to spend a little extra time observing. This will be fun, I thought. I'll pretend like I'm a Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom nature filmer or something. So I went to work, each day making my observations and making notes to keep track of the data. This is week 1, and it's Monday, and there they are, doing their thing. They're very active, swimming, carrying branches around and eating. They seem to be most active here in the evening, more so than in the morning. So I'll make a note of this in my beaver log and mark it down. So I went to work, starting on a Monday. I continued observing the next day. So it's Tuesday and they're very active today. And sure enough, there they were, still at it. Swimming, splashing, eating, all the normal beaver activity. And the next day, Wednesday, there they were, still busy. I also got a chance to see quite a variety of other wildlife too. I think there's a great big sandhill crane out here. There he is. 2 big sandhill cranes right over there. I even saw a baby black bear right here in the same spot. Thursday, just like the previous day, the beavers were still busy. On Friday, same thing, swimming, splashing, eating. The beavers were consistently active Monday through Friday at the same time each day. Now the next day was Saturday, the first Saturday of the experiment. What will I see when I come tomorrow? So here's a question. Does the Bible mention anything anywhere about an animal resting on Sabbath?
Well, what the Bible says, actually what Jesus said, is that Sabbath was made for man. And when we think about that, He is saying this is the day that God has given you as a gift. But in fact, the 4th commandment does mention animals being involved in that, because it says, in it, on this Sabbath, you shall do no work, not you, your son, or your daughter, your manservant, your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that was within your gates.
The cattle are to rest. These were normally working animals, but not only the cattle, even the strangers that were to visit them, anyone who was on the property was not to work on the Sabbath. One other time, the Bible mentions loosing an ox to lead it to water on the Sabbath, which indicates it's resting from the work it normally would be doing for man on the Sabbath day. And so, yes, working animals were to rest on the Sabbath.
Okay, it's Saturday, and this is amazing. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. Completely still. I'm here the same time as yesterday when they were out and about, swimming and doing all kinds of stuff. But today, nothing. Quiet. I know they're alive because I can hear them. I can hear them inside the lodge here. Listen to this. I guess these guys need a day off too. But why did they pick Saturday? Do they even know it's Saturday? Or maybe it's just a coincidence. The only way to find out is to keep on observing through another week. Okay, it's Sunday, and the beavers are back out and busy. They've obviously come back out of the lodge. They look healthy. So I'll just keep watching and see what's on their schedule for this week. Another week of observation, and the beavers were out every day, busy as usual. Sunday through Friday at about the same time every day. And then came Saturday. And just like the first week, all was quiet again. This continued on week after week, month after month, summer and winter, with the same results.
My dad has been watching these beavers for about 16 years. He's been getting to be kind of an expert on beaver behavior, at least with this family of beavers.
They seem like normal animals, except we've never once seen them out on Saturdays.
Notice something interesting about beavers. You see how close their front arms and shoulders are to their head? It almost looks like their arms come out the side of their neck. Now this makes them really good at handling things close to their mouths, but not so good at running. Also, notice how fast they submerge when they slap their tails. I used to think beavers slap their tails to warn others of danger. But after studying them for a long time, I don't think that's the case. It looks to me like they're trying to get underwater quickly. I don't think they're warning others because sometimes they slap their tails when no others are around. Or if others are there, the others don't respond by running off when they hear the slap. Beavers can't see very good at all. In fact, I've been able to film them within just a few feet without them seeing me. They can smell and hear very well, but they have very poor eyesight. So to me, it looks like they slap their tails because they're not sure if danger is present, and they want to get under the water quickly just in case. Because when they don't slap their tails, submerging takes a bit longer.
Sometimes when we come up here on Saturdays, we're a little worried. What if we see the beavers out? After all this time, that would really ruin our study. But no, every Saturday we come, everything is quiet here at the beaver dam.
Getting to these beaver dams has been a challenge. Over the years, we've been very thankful for this old Chevy Tahoe. It's been pretty capable. It's gotten us in and out of some pretty rough places. Yeah, you know, we've logged thousands of miles on this truck, and on some of the roughest terrain. Oh boy. Besides downed trees on the trail, flat tires were par for the course.
Yep, another flat. There we are, minding our own business. Flat. Out in the middle of nowhere. I got muscles. One of the biggest flats I think we've ever gotten.
Tire's eager to come off. It's already trying.
It's like a loose tooth. Ready?
Wow.
Trade ya. Let's try a different one. This one, I don't think I like this one. Is this the same size tire?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Underneath, doesn't it?
We finally had to break down and buy some really tough tires.
Alright, I will let John know you're here.
Okay, thank you. We'll get the old flat tire problem fixed right now. No more flats for us. Okay. All right. Thank you.
If Saturday is God's Sabbath day, then why do Christians all over the world go to church on Sunday?
Well, boy, that's really a good question, because there's nothing to validate the keeping of Sunday in the Bible. It's merely tradition, purely tradition. There's only 8 verses on the first day of the week in the Bible, and none of them talk about transferring the worship of God, the day that God sanctified from the 7th day, to Sunday. And actually the tradition dates all the way back to a few centuries after Christ, when Constantine legalized Christianity, and he enacted the very first Sunday observance law. You can read about it in a lot of encyclopedias. Collier's encyclopedia says that on the venerable day of the sun,
let the magistrates and the people residing in cities rest, and let all the workshops be closed. Then in 364 AD, in the Council of Laodicea, they passed a law requiring that Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Saturday. The religious leaders, led by Bishop Eusebius, stated, "All things whatsoever that it was duty to do on the Sabbath, these we have transferred to the Lord's Day, which was a name they gave to Sunday."
In 70 AD, Roman armies conquered Jerusalem and burned the temple to the ground. At that time, it became very unpopular throughout the Roman Empire to be like the Jews in any way. And Christian churches had recently been established throughout the empire, especially in the city of Rome. And so because of this war against the Jews, it became very unpopular to be like the Jews in any way. And the Bible Sabbath looked Jewish because the Jews kept it as well. And so tremendous pressure was exerted upon the early Christian churches, especially in Rome, to move away from the Bible Sabbath. Well, at the same time, Sunday was a day that was recognized throughout the Roman Empire as the day of the sun. The Romans worshiped the sun on Sunday. And so as the Christians were feeling pressure to get away from anything that looked Jewish, they started thinking about this and they said, hey, you know what? Jesus rose on Sunday anyway. And so it became a very convenient rationalization to move away from what looked like a Jewish Sabbath and to move towards Sunday. If you've heard the expression, when in Rome, do as the Romans, that really originated over this issue. And so the shift took place gradually, especially in Rome and in Egypt and Alexandria. And as time went on, the Roman Catholic Church really became a dominant advocate for Sunday observance as a replacement to the Bible Sabbath. Nevertheless, the Bible itself does not change. And the fourth commandment still says that the seventh day is the Sabbath, not of the Jews, but of the Lord.
Well, as you can see, winter has settled in here at the beaver pond, but the beavers are still active and still coming out Sunday through Friday. Not quite as much, but they're still coming out. I just finished observing several more weeks here, and still no Saturday activity. Now, it's not that they just stopped working on Saturday. I haven't seen them come out of their lodge on Saturday. It's as if they go in there Friday night at sundown and then hibernate for 24 hours. I've been observing this now for over 10 years, and here's what I think. I think something is causing the beavers to rest on Saturday, something inherent or something unseen. My hunch is this: the designer who created the beavers must have programmed a rest period in their brains. And that designer has to be the God of the Bible, because their resting occurs only and routinely on Saturdays, which is the biblical day of rest, the same day that God rested when He created this world. And so I'm impressed by this.
The longest living people on planet Earth today are Sabbath keepers. There are 3 blue zones, but the blue zone that is gaining in longevity is a blue zone that keeps the Sabbath in Southern California. And so this was recently studied as a result of the blue zones. Was it the diet that was helping them? Or was it maybe Sabbath keeping that was helping them? And the study found out, yes, nutrition is important. What we put into our body has a direct bearing on physical health. But the study also showed that if you were keeping the Sabbath, you were much more likely to exercise regularly and to eat a healthier diet. But in addition, the study revealed that when you keep the Sabbath in a faithful way, in other words, you actually don't work, you don't listen to secular music, you don't go shopping, you actually are, the activities that you are doing have to do with spiritual activities or communal Sabbath activities where you're getting together to worship or study the Bible. All of those things were independently associated with improved mental health. Now, some people would have problems even though they were keeping the Sabbath. They might go through a divorce or other stresses. But we found out those that were keeping the Sabbath versus keeping Sunday were able to handle severe stressors in their life better. And it appeared to be as a result of Sabbath keeping.
Well, today is Sunday. And one thing I've noticed about Sunday is that Sunday seems to be the busiest day of the week here at the Beaver Pond. Not sure why exactly, but it's probably because they have rested the day before and have maybe a little extra energy.
So in the beginning, God rested from His work. And apparently, so do these animals. These beavers work so hard during the week, I think they need a rest. They've got incredibly strong work ethics. They're efficient. They're well organized with their work. Plus, they really know how to make good use of a tree. I wonder if there's a lesson we could learn from this.
Dead tree.
He's a little wood dog.
Put him in the truck.
Yes. Okay, well, sure. I think there's been other studies. Now, we mentioned some bees in the film. There has been a study of South American bees. You can find a guy by the name of Dr. Sang Lee, who has visited several times, and he reports this as he does his speaking. He's a doctor, but he speaks on medical things and then prophecy things. He's often mentioned about a family who's a beekeeper in a remote area of Brazil. They say those bees will go into their hive on Friday night and stay there until Saturday night. They don't come out of their hive. And so that's one example. There's the other example of how many of you have heard of the Seventh-day Ox story?
Nikolai Panchuk was a Christian pastor who got sentenced to a Siberian prison for hard labor. Nikolai was a faithful Sabbath keeper, which meant he wouldn't work on Saturdays. This got him into all kinds of trouble at the prison camp. Each time he refused to work on Saturdays, he was confined inside a small wooden box for 10 days. Now, this nearly killed him, yet he still remained faithful to his convictions about the Sabbath. After being confined in the box several times, Nikolai was finally able to make a bargain with one of the wardens. Here's the deal he was offered. If he could get all his week's work done in 6 days, he could have Saturdays off. Unfortunately, he was given the job of hauling water for the camp. He was to drive an ox with a cart all the way down to the spring to draw water, then haul it back up to the camp. The problem was with the ox. The ox was stubbornly slow, and the more he tried to motivate the beast, the slower it would go. So he was constantly behind on his work, and by Thursday he was so far behind schedule that it looked impossible to get his 7 days' worth of work done in only 6. But when Friday came, something unusual happened. The ox could hardly wait to get to work, and as soon as it was hitched up to the cart, it started to run. To and from the spring it continued running all day long, so that just before the sun set on Friday, Nikolai got all the water hauled for the entire week, and he got Saturday off. This continued every week. The ox would be slow Sunday through Thursday, but it would run on Friday. And even after Nikolai Panchuk was released from prison, the ox continued the same pattern each week with the new prison worker.
So right from the beginning of time, we see that the seventh day was special to the Creator of the earth.
The fourth commandment recognizes not just that humans are to rest on that day, but animals are as well.
Now, I don't know if all beavers rest like this, but the next logical step would be to organize another study involving other families of beavers and find out. If you have any questions, or you would like more information, or maybe you'd like some free study guides about the Sabbath day, you can contact me at my website at www.desiremedia.org. And thank you for watching the Seventh Day Beavers. Just finished filming Seventh Day Beaver film, just about wrapped up here. We got a long walk. We couldn't even bring the truck in here today because it's so deep. In fact, we got stuck up there once. Had to dig ourselves out. But we're good now. Where is it? I think this is it. Let's see. Look at this. Hopefully it'll fire. See how hard it doesn't like the fire? They did it. They fired.
I don't know. It fires every time.
That was good. Just finished filming Seventh Day Beaver film. It's just about wrapped up here. But you know, beavers don't hibernate. They should, but they don't. I think hibernating is such a neat thing. It'd be so nice to go to sleep in this when the weather's nice, wake up and the weather's still nice. Miss all this snow. There's a lot of snow here. So we got a long walk. We couldn't even bring the truck in here today because it's so deep. In fact, we got stuck up there once. Had to dig ourselves out. But we're good now.
Well, that wasn't the first time we got stuck. Unfortunately, this happened a lot. And it usually happened when we forgot the shovel. Whoops.
We always love to do this and get stuck. So here's what we got. We got deep snow. In the snow, we're downhill, so we can't back up because we've gone downhill. So we're really stuck.
I don't know why you
But
did
we're
that.
used to this. So we're gonna say bye-bye to the truck, and we're gonna walk. Here we go. This is good because we get exercise. I think we've walked about a mile, or no, maybe 2 miles. Alex is taking lead with Bear. Kids are back there. Car's running. There's the tools. And I'll pull it right out. Does this guy? You think you can do this, Jackson? He's gonna fire this guy up.
I'm gonna get it in the low.
Low. Little guy low. Okay, we're gonna remove the slack. There goes the slack right out of the chain. There's yanking right out there. Whoa, Alex! Look at that. Okay, you can back up, Jax. All done. This is the day after we got back from our Revelation seminar. And the day before we left, we got stuck in the mud and had to walk 4 miles before someone rescued us. This is the day after we just got back from a Revelation seminar, and we had to walk 7 miles today. It looks like the dead of winter here, but actually this is springtime. It's April 8, 2015 here at the Beaver Pond, and we just had a nice, incredible snow shower that came through here, and I think the beavers are probably a little bit hunkered down now. They're hunkering down. Have you ever hunkered down? This is how you do it. You do it like that, and that's how you hunker. And so we're not going to be able to see them till they come out.
And in the Bible, after God finished,
Let's hang on, you said camera.
you can see this actually in any dictionary or any encyclopedia. We should probably start again.
Okay, go ahead.
When Constantine legalized Christianity and enacted a very first Sunday observance law. I'm going to quit because I didn't say that word right.
August 25, and we just came back to the den here, Beaver Place, after being gone for a long time. It's really weird, but it's super quiet. We can't see a sign of any beavers. We don't know if the beavers have moved or what's happened. Normally this is Monday, so normally they'd be out at this time of day doing all kinds of stuff.
That's right.
But so we left that hole open in the lodge, and if it's fixed tomorrow, then we know they're still here.
That's right.
Okay, so here we are at the Beaver Lodge den, and there's the hole I made. And as you can see, the beavers did not fix it. So that's probably a good indication that the beavers are not here. They've moved. And they've moved once before. They were upstream about a half mile, and they moved down to here. And so they probably, for whatever reason, moved, probably because it was too dry. And so so now we have to go find them. We'll find them. They don't seem to be dead.
We're gonna go in the den.
Yeah, so anyway, we're gonna go start hunting. We're gonna go up there, look that way, us upstream, and that's downstream. Which way do you think they went, Carter?
They probably went up.
Good, I wanted to go up. I was hoping you'd say that. Okay, so we're getting ready to make an intense search for our beavers. Just hooked up our trailer. In the trailer, since we have a lot of territory to cover, we've got motorcycles. So we're gonna go up and down, look, search high and low, try to find our seventh-day beavers. They're missing in action now, so we got to make a big search to try to find them. So I hope we can do this. Right, Jax? Got the crew too. Well, we didn't have any luck. We looked up and down the creek. I mean, we went way down 3 miles. We went back up to the lodge, the dam, and then we went around it and looked everywhere. We haven't seen them. We don't know where the beavers are. So we've only gone up about a mile, so we're gonna have to go up past a mile and just keep going until we see something. And so that's our plan. Well, I think we found our beavers. They're down here in this dam that's about 6 miles below the original dam. Yeah, I think we found them. So that's kind of nice. They've been missing for over a week now. It's really hard to get the Tahoe in here. The truck we had to go up some steep around some stuff and off trail and everything. So we'll just come back here and tomorrow and see if we can find the lodge here. Okay, we just saw our beaver. We found our beaver. There he is, swimming. See it? Beaver here.
happy to know that they're here. And there he goes, right across the middle of the pond.
So you have families, there's generations there.
This is many generations, yeah. Yeah, in fact, did you see the scene where where I held the camera close to the beaver lodge and you could hear those sounds? Those are actual sounds coming from that camera. And those were, that was just after the beavers had given birth. Those are baby beavers you're hearing in there. At least 2 of them, and you can hear them eating, and mama's eating. I hear that over and over on Saturdays. I can go in and listen. They're not dead. I thought they were dead. I thought, what happened to the beavers? They're not coming out on Saturday. So I figured, well, someone must have killed them. But then I'd go to the lodge and listen, and I was very happy to hear the sounds of the beavers in there. How about beavers making pets? Does anybody think a beaver would make a good pet, or is it too dangerous? Well, here, take a look at this. Those are baby beavers. And from what I've found out on just looking at the internet is that beavers make decent pets, except the fact, of course, that you can't leave them unsupervised around wood. They say they will actually chew your furniture down to the ground, you know.
Ready?
Well, that was fun. Here we go. Ship. Come on, here, girl. I guess they're not going to come out today. Well, I tried. Let me ask that again. Let me ask it again, another way. Does the Bible mention anything? Does the Bible mention anything anywhere about animals resting on Sabbath? If Saturday is God's... No. So here's the question that would cause something in nature to recognize it. And the next question, I guess I could stand up. Now, are you ready?